Hi, it's Miss Dassel, and today we're going to correct section 2, numbers 21 to 36 of the Trinidad Express May the 4th practice test. We're going to do those questions. So let's get started. All right, so here we have increase 2/3 by 1/5. So with our worded problems, it's always easier to translate it or change it into numeric equations, right? So numbers, symbols, that's easier to recognize. So we have 2/3 here. And we have the words increase by. So increase by, those are keyword clues. So keyword clues are words that let you know which operation to use. If it's addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. So in this case, increase by simply is a keyword for addition. So we're going to add 2/3. So basically you're increasing 2/3 by 1/5 by adding it together. Right? So that's why it's easier to translate it into numbers and symbols that you can understand. So you can choose any which way of adding on, like adding fractions with unlike denominators. Right, I like the LCD method, so lowest common denominator would be 15 here. 5 into 3, right, 5 into 15, sorry, 3 into 15 is 5. 5 by 2 will give us 10. Bring down the addition sign. 5 into 15 is 3. 1 multiplied by 3 will give us 3. Therefore, it is 13 out of 15. 13 fifteenths. So when we increase 2/3 by 1/5, it becomes 13 fifteenths. Okay, let's go to the next one. So number 22 reads, at a bakery, 12 hops cost $12.70. What is the cost of two and a half dozen hops? All right. So let's break it down. We know that 1 dozen equals 12 hops, right? A dozen of anything is 12. So 1 dozen hops, 12 hops. We know that 12 hops cost $12.70. Now, the question says, what is the cost of 2.5? So 2 dozen, right? Obviously, it's multiplied by 2, double the amount. So it's now 24 hops, right? And 12.70 multiplied by 2 is going to give us $25.40. All right, half a dozen is half of 12, which is 6 hops. So now we have to add in this amount as well. All right, so $12.70 divided by 2, right, is $6.35. Right, now we can add them all together. $25 and so you're adding these two. $25.40 for $6.35 is going to give you a grand total of $31.75. And that's how we solve that one. All right, let's move on to number 23. So two and a third and 2 and 2/5, which mixed number is larger? Right? Looking at it, we can't tell it off the bat. They both share the same whole number, so we have to look at the fraction. So let's compare. We're going to compare the fractions. A third and 2/5. Right? We could compare them either with the LCD method, aka like how you would add or subtract fractions with unlike denominators, or we could even change them into decimals. You could do that as well. So let's try the two. All right, if you're looking for the lowest common decimal, lowest common denominator, lowest common multiple, right? 15 can go into both of them. So 3 into 15, they could both go into 15. So 3 into 15, 5. 5 times 1 is 5. So this would be 5/15. So we're changing them in the equivalent fractions as well also, right? 5 can go into 15 3 times. 2 3s are 6. All right, so just by looking at them, a third will now become 5/15. 2/5 will become 6/15. So obviously, 2/5 is larger, so therefore 2 and 2/5 is larger. Now let's say you wanted to use the decimal. 1/3 as a decimal is 0.33, right? It will be found on your conversion chart. So if you have the conversion chart for fraction decimal percentages, these are the most commonly used fractions. So try to memorize these. So you have a third as 0.33, 2/5. It's also very common, and that's 0.40. So that's also another way you can compare them. And you can see 2/5 is bigger, so therefore 2 and 2/5 is bigger. All right, what is the LCM? Luckily, we found the LCM using this method for part A, so we know the answer is 15, the lowest common multiple. Or there's another way we can look at it as well. You can list out all the multiples of each number. So 3, all the multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. All the multiples of 5, 5, 10, 15. Hey, what do they have in common? They both have 15, right? 15. Or if by multiplying it as well, 5 by 3 is 15. All right, great. Let's go to the next one. Max. Patterns. Okay, so look at the sequence of patterns made with the hexagon. What is the total number of hexagons used in pattern 10? So that means they only give us up to 3. So we have to look at pattern 4, 5, all right, all the way down to 10. Okay, so we could do that. So let's look at how many hexagons we're given here. Pattern 1 is 4. Pattern 2, how many hexagons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pattern 3 gives us 10. So from here to here, you realize the pattern is to add 3. Right? So to work out from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we just have to add 3 after each to the previous number. So let's go from pattern 4 to pattern 3 to 4. So 10 plus 3 is 13. 13 plus 3 is 16. 16 plus 3 is 19. 19 plus 3 is 22. 22 plus 3 is 25. 25 plus 3 is 28. 28 plus 3 is 31. So the number of hexagons used in the 10 pattern, 31. All right, let's move on to the next one. Number 25. All right. So this one states a store buys a sofa for $2,000 and increases its cost by 30%. Calculate its selling price. So increases its cost, right? That's the same as the profit. So they now have a profit of 30%. Right? The selling price is cost price plus profit. That's a quick little formula to help you remember. All right, so let's calculate the profit. So 30% as a fraction is 30 over 100 by $2,000. Right, let me break that down. Let's cancel out those 2 zeros. We have 30 by 20. That will give us $600. So $600 is the profit. So based on the formula, we have to add selling the cost price 2,000 plus the profit of 600 for a total of 2,600. All right, so let's look at part B of the question. Part B states, if a discount of 5% is given to the selling, calculate the discount. Aha, so now we have to find the discount now. So 5%, written as a fraction, is 5 over 100. So 5% times the selling price, which was 2,600. Right? 26 multiplied by 5 will give us $130 because the question says calculate the discount, not the discounted price. So the final answer is $130. Number 26, write the values in the lettered parts. So we have place value here, we have 6.35. 6 is in the ones column, so that's 6 multiplied by 1. So A is 1. 3 is 3 multiplied by 110, since in its tenths column, and 5 is in the hundredths column, so that's 5 by 100, so 100ths. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, so this one reads, a square is folded once to make a triangle. Pick one statement below that is true for the perimeter of the triangle. So we know that perimeter is a distance around a shape. All right. So we're going to assume, all right, well, we know this side is going to be 9. This side is going to be 9. Right? Because it would have cut along here. All right, this side is going to be a little more than 9. All right, because it's the longest side. So let's estimate this to be like about 11. All right, we can estimate. So take one segment below that is true for the perimeter of the triangle. The perimeter is less than 36, obviously, all right? Because it would take 4, even if we estimate, we know this is 9, 18. This would have to be 18 as well, all right? This third side would have to be 18 for it to be anywhere close to 36. The perimeter is 36? No. The only shape whose perimeter is 36 is a square. The perimeter is greater than 36? Definitely not. So it will be this one. Why? All right, the triangle is definitely going to be less than 36 degrees, 36 centimeters. The triangle has two sides of the square and a diagonal, which is going to be less than the sum of the other two sides. All right. Good. Let's go on to the next one. All right, 23 crayons were shared between Trisha and Mario. Trisha got 5 more than Mario. How many crayons did Trisha get? All right, let's break this down. So we have Trisha, T for Trisha, M for Mario. Trisha got 5 more than Mario. So whatever the amount is, Trisha would get 5 more, right? So we have to remember that. So let's say this Mario gets X amount. So this is an equal sharing. So the first step we have to do, step 1, we subtract 23 minus 5. All right, we're taking away the 5 extra. So we want to even out the amount that they both could possibly get, the minimum they both could get. And that will give us 18. Now, this next step is there are 2 people, so we're going to take this 18 and divide it by 2. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So this number 9 means between the 2 of them, they at least got, Trisha got at least 9, Mario got at least 9. Right? But then we have to remember that she got 5 more than Mario. So we could estimate that Mario got 9, Trisha got 9 plus 5. Right? So that's our step 3. So Trisha, so T equals 9 plus 5. We have to add this back in. And that will give us 14. So Trisha got 14. If the question was how many crayons did Mario get, Mario got 9 crayons. All right, let's look at number 29. In a kitchen, for every 2 cups of salt used, 3 cups of sugar are used. Calculate how many cups of sugar will be used after 12 cups of salt are used. Okay, so let's break this one down. Clear. All right. So let's say 2 cups of salt. So we have 1 cup here, 1 cup here. This is salt. Then we have 3 cups of sugar. 1, 2, 3. All right. 3 cups of sugar used. Calculate how many cups of sugar, so this one is sugar, will be used after 12 cups of salt are used. All right, this is salt. So this is 2 cups here. Now to go from 12 to 2 cups, I'll go from 2 to 12 cups, sorry. That's how many pairs of 2? That's 1, right? This is 12 cups here. That's 6 pairs of 2, right? So to go from 12 to 2, we have to multiply by 6. And we're going to do that here. 3 cups to figure out how much sugar we're going to need. We're going to multiply 3 by 6. And that's going to give us 18 cups. Right? Or if you have time, you could draw out all the cups. 6 pairs of cups. Because they have to match, right? For every 2, so every row of 2, you have a row of 3. Every row of 2, you have 3 here. So they have to keep matching. So the shortcut, figure out how many pairs, right? To go from 2 to 12, you have to multiply by 6. So therefore, you have to do it on the next side as well. 3 multiplied by 6 will give you 18 cups. All right, let's clear it out. Let's look at number 30. Number 30 states, divide 72 by 4, then find a third of the quotient. Ah, yes. So let's write this as an equation with numbers, symbols to make it easier for us. Let's look at divide 72 by 4. How are we gonna, that's gonna look 72 divided by 4. All right, think of it like a flow chart. 72 divided by 4. Then find a third. All right, then you have to divide whatever answer that is. Let's call that answer n divided by a third. No, multiply by a third. All right, a third of means multiply. So a third of whatever the answer is. So let's look at the answers. 72 divided by 4 equals 18. All right, we can do some long division. 72, 4 could go into 7, 1 time, so it's 4, subtract 3, bring down 2, 4 can go into 32 8 times, right? 0, 0. Right, so this is now what we would consider the n. So n multiplied by a third, 18 over 1 by a third, right? 3 into 3, 1. 3 into 18, 6. Right, so our final answer is 6. Right? The quotient is what you call the answer when you divide. Right, so that's the quotient. All right, let's go to 31 here. 31 states, which clock has the earlier time? Let's look at times on the clock. So the digital clock says 3:20, and the analog clock, the minute hand is on 5 minutes, the hour hand is on 4. So that means it's 4:05. So the earlier time, oh, this is clock A. No, this is clock A and this is clock B, I think. Right? So the clock, the digital clock has the earlier time. A, which is 3:20, 20 past 3. What is the difference in the times? All right, so let's do some subtraction. What is the difference? All right, so we have 4:05 minus 3:20. All right, this is the hours section. This is the minutes section. Okay, so 5 minutes, you can't take away 20 minutes from 5 minutes, so we're going to have to borrow an hour. So 3 hours have here. So this becomes 60 plus 5, which is now 65 minutes. So 5 minus 0 is 5. 6 minus 2 is 4. 3 minus 3, 0. So the difference in time is 45 minutes. "45 minutes." All right, let's go to the next. Chicken is sold at $8 per kilogram. How much will 3.5 kilograms cost? All right, so what does that mean? So 1 kilogram, 1 kg, $8. 3 kilograms, you could break it up like that. 3 kilograms would be 8 by 3. That's 24. A half a kilogram is half of this, so that's 8 divided by 2. That's $4 for a total of $28. Right, so our answer is $28. Or you can also change this into a mixed number. Right, so 3 multiplied by 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 over 2 by 8. 22, 1, 4, 4 twos are 28. Okay, let's go to part B. How much change is there if the cost was paid with $100? So we have to make change now. So 100 minus 28. Borrow here, we're left with 0. If we borrow from here, we're left with 9. So we have 10 here. 10 minus 8 is 2. 9 minus 2 is 7. Alright, 0 can't, 0 is just 0. So we have $72. $72. A store has 80 customers. After 0.25 of them leave, there are 12 male customers and some female customers remaining. What decimal fraction of the remaining customers is female? So we need to find how many customers are female, and it needs to be a decimal. All right. And we know that the total is 80. So that's the key information we do know. So let's work with what we do know to find out what we don't know. So first things first, let's change that decimal into a fraction. It'll be easier to work with. All right, so we change it into a quarter. So a quarter of them leave. All right, so a quarter of them leave. So that means a quarter of 80 leave. And that will give us 20 leave. All right. So the remainder, the remainder would be the total minus the number of people who left. Right? So the remainder is 60. Of the remainder, 12 were male. Right? So let's calculate the female. So therefore, if 12 are male, then the female is going to be 60 minus the 12 male. And that is going to give us 48 female. But we're not done. What decimal fraction of the remaining number is female? Right. So what decimal fraction of the remaining customers? So not even all the customers, the remaining customers. So you have to be very careful about that. Right? So we're going to have to make this a fraction and then turn it into a decimal. So a fraction is made up of a part over a whole. So the part is the female. The whole is the all remaining customers. Right? We reduce this. You could use 12. So 60 divided by 12. Use 12. Use 12. 60 divided by 12 is 5. 40 divided by 12 is 4. 4/5 as a fraction, as a decimal, sorry, is, if you have it memorized, 0.8. 0.8. All right. An airplane takes 45 minutes to fly from Trinidad to Barbados. It remains in Barbados. So let's just highlight the numbers here. 45 minutes. He's in Barbados for 40 minutes before flying to Florida. The flight to Florida took 5 hours and 10 minutes. If the airplane reached Florida at 8:30 p.m., what time did it leave Trinidad? All right, so those are the key points we need to remember. So let's calculate all those minutes. All right. An airplane takes 45 minutes. Okay, so let's break it down into parts. So let's separate it into hours and minutes. Hours, minutes. All right, so we have 45 minutes to Barbados. All right, we know we're adding it. Then we have to add on 40 minutes. It stayed in Barbados. Then the flight took 5 hours, 10 minutes, 5, 10. Right? So in total, it took 5, 4 plus 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So 95 minutes, which we have to change. Right? We have to change that. You can't have more than 59 minutes in the minutes column. So that's going to be 5 and 3. And we carry over this 60 over here. So you add in a 1 here. So you're going to have 35 minutes, and so 6 hours and 35 minutes flying, leaving from Trinidad to Florida. Right? It took 6 hours and 35 minutes. Now the question says, if it reached Florida at 8:20, what time did it leave Trinidad? So we're going to have to subtract. We're going to subtract. So 8:20 subtract 6:35, 6 hours and 35 minutes. Okay, we're going to have to borrow some minutes over here. So this is 60 plus 20. That's 80. So this is now 80 minutes. So 80 subtract 35 is going to give us 45 minutes. 7 minus 6 is 1. So our final answer, it left Trinidad at 1:45 p.m. All right, that's clear. Let's go to number 35 now. Select one shape to complete each part of the table below. So we have properties on the one side, and we have name of the selected shape. So we have 3 different types of triangles there. So we need to figure out which triangle fits into where. A triangle with no equal sides. That's this one here. All right. Name of the selected shape. That triangle is called a scalene triangle. Right, scalene. A triangle with 2 equal sides, that's called an isosceles. Right, this is the isosceles here. Right. And a triangle with 3 equal sides is called an equilateral, EQUILATERAL. and this is the equilateral triangle here. Right? Easy peasy. All right, our last question in section 2. In set of numbers is listed below. 6, 9, 11, 5, 9, 15, 8. Find the mean of the numbers and find the modal number. All right, so the formula for mean. So the mean is sum of all the numbers, or let's say the sum of items, divided by the number of items. All right, so we have to add 6 plus 9 plus 11 plus 5 plus 9 plus 15 plus 8. And that's going to give us 63 divided by the number of items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. 63 divided by 7 is going to give us 9. So the mean is 9. And we have the modal number. The mode is the number that appears in most times. And that number is also 9. Right? And that's it for section 2. Make sure I click on the second part for section 3. Goodbye.